and welcome to a new episode of Airport Update here from Philadelphia International Airport, where traffic numbers remain low. But of course, the world continues to spin around, and so does the business. So airlines keep on operating, and even though passenger numbers are still quite low, they are slowly picking up due to the holiday season coming up, even though it probably will be quite far away from what it used to be. Nonetheless, there are plenty of aircraft here at the airport today, so let's start our tour around over at Terminal A. And over here we find an Airbus A321neo of Frontier Airlines. The aircraft came in just about an hour ago from New Orleans, has about 9 minutes left until it's scheduled to depart for Orlando, but the aircraft is still being loaded and also still being refueled, so boarding hasn't started yet, so this aircraft will definitely be leaving with a delay. This aircraft came in about half an hour ago from Atlanta and is scheduled to go out to Detroit. Given very low passenger numbers on this flight today, the aircraft is almost done and will be pushed out in the next few minutes, leaving ahead of time. And then we have a Boeing 737-900ER of United Airlines. This aircraft is today flying between Chicago and Philadelphia and still has about 20 minutes on the ground right now. Boarding has just started and the aircraft is still taking on some luggage, so this aircraft should also be leaving on time. Over at the extension to Terminal A, we have an Airbus A320 of Allegiant Air that came in from Cincinnati, and now, according to the schedule, still has about 10 minutes on the ground before it will be leaving for St. Petersburg in Florida. Right now, the GSE equipment is being driven away so that the aircraft is cleared so that it can be pushed out of the ramp. And also the next aircraft, the CRJ-900 of Air Canada that today is flying between Toronto and Philadelphia, is pretty much ready to go. The aircraft has been closed up, so boarding is completed, and the aircraft is actually right now just waiting for the pushback truck to pull up, so the aircraft can be pushed out of the ramp as well. But it's not the only activity we find at the airport around these corners, because over at the Bongo Inn, the airport hotel, there is actually finally also a little bit of a larger convention going on. The hotel is hosting the Mall Centers Workers Union assembly these days, of course with appropriate social distancing, and rumors have it that the alcohol consumption at the hotel has doubled. But of course, that's just a rumor. Now we do also have some activities over here at Terminal B, the American Airlines and oneworld terminal, where we for example have this Boeing 737-800 of American Airlines that arrived earlier this evening from Tampa and right now is in the middle of its turnaround for its next flight going to Dallas-Fort Worth, leaving at around 20 minutes to 10 in the evening. And then we have this Airbus A321neo of American Airlines that came in earlier this evening from Los Angeles. The aircraft is scheduled to leave for Miami in about 35 minutes, but right now the last luggage is being loaded and the aircraft is actually pretty much ready to go due to low passenger numbers. So right now the cockpit is negotiating with ATC to see if they can leave a little bit earlier than scheduled. Next up we have this Boeing 737-900ER of Alaska Airlines that is flying between Philadelphia and Seattle today. The aircraft is also scheduled to leave in around 5 minutes, and as the last luggage is being loaded right now, this also very much should look like an on-time departure. Taxiing past all these aircraft on its way to its ramp is the CRJ-900 of American Eagle that has arrived just a few minutes ahead of schedule from Key West. The aircraft will have around an hour left now here on the airport grounds before it will be heading out to Windsor Locks. And then we have this Airbus A319 of American Airlines that is flying between Philadelphia and Charlotte today. With still around 35 minutes left in its turnaround, the ground handling can definitely take it a little bit more easy over here, as they will definitely make it on time. And with that good news, let's take a quick look over to the international side of Terminal B. over here we find an Airbus A330-300 of the Irish carrier Aer Lingus. The aircraft came in earlier this evening and still has around 1 hour until its scheduled departure, so things are slowly picking up here as the ground crew is getting the aircraft ready for its departure. Being pushed out of the ramp right now is this Boeing 777-200ER of American Airlines. The aircraft arrived earlier in the afternoon from Zurich in Switzerland and is now going out to Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Over at Terminal C, the airport can handle A380 aircraft, but given the crisis right now, it is becoming more and more unlikely that this will happen. Lufthansa, as one of the A380 operators here at the airport, has already announced that they won't be using this aircraft type anymore. They are switching to the 747-8 for their Frankfurt operations and A350 and A330 for their Munich operations. Malaysia Airlines have also ceased their A380 operations to Philadelphia and for the time being won't be returning to the airport, and Emirates still hasn't announced what they will be doing in the future. So with A380 operations becoming more and more unlikely, the airport has announced that it is considering to redevelop the area around the A380 gate, but nothing has been decided yet, so the future will tell what will happen around this area of the airport. And as we are already talking about this area, let's take a look what aircraft is in the ramp today, and that is the 747-8 of Lufthansa, which has arrived in the afternoon from Frankfurt. Refueling of the aircraft will be finished within the next few minutes, so boarding should be started in the next couple of minutes as well. So the aircraft with a scheduled departure at 20 minutes to 10 should also be leaving on time today. Next we have an Airbus A350-900 of Air France, which is flying between Philadelphia and Paris Charles de Gaulle today. The aircraft came in the late afternoon and still has just under 1 hour until its scheduled departure, so things are picking up here around the aircraft that currently is being refueled. The cabin crew has also just entered the aircraft and is starting their preparations for the flight back to the French capital. And then we have an aircraft with only a few minutes left here on the ground, and that is this Boeing 787-9 of Turkish Airlines that in the next 4 minutes is scheduled to leave the ramp for its return flight to Istanbul in Turkey. And now let's head over to our remote stands and the runway entry to see what's going on over there. Then we have a first-time visitor here at the airport. The 747-400F of SF Airlines has come in from Shenzhen in China with a stop in Anchorage, to where it also will be returning before it heads back to mainland China. The aircraft is scheduled to leave at 25 minutes past 3 in the very early morning hours. And next to the freighter, we have an Airbus A321neo of American Airlines that came in at 10 minutes to 2 in the afternoon from San Francisco, and since then has been taken out of service simply due to low passenger numbers. The aircraft is frankly right now not needed. And then finally we have this Bombardier CRJ900 of American Eagle. The aircraft arrived around an hour ago from Washington DC, has been here at the airport grounds ever since and is now heading out to Norfolk. Right now the aircraft is taxiing towards the runway 27 right. And with that we are also taxiing towards our takeoff clearance for this video. So if you have enjoyed this episode, then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, then why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. And with that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.